Being a Longhorn is opportunity, pride, achievement, community, safety. Being a Longhorn is a choice to become a hero, to lead, to thrive in any setting. Being a Longhorn means immersing yourself in fine arts, learning at your own pace in Montessori, starting your path to college in elementary, earning a college degree in high school. The pride of being a Longhorn lives on long after graduation. Educate, empower, inspire.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight for our Digital Parent University on Paper. My name is Alicia Davis. I am the Director of Family and Community Engagement with Cedar Hill ISD. And tonight you are going to get a lot of information that's going to be interactive about this 24/7, 365 opportunity to receive free tutoring services. Now, I do want to let you all know of a few upcoming events. Next week on, I believe that's Wednesday, the 15th, there's going to be the Longhorn Level Up Cedar Hill High School 8th grade transition program. That means that 8th graders from the middle schools are going to be able to get a preview of all of the goings on at Cedar Hill High School. Parents will also get an opportunity to participate in their parent night. So that is next Wednesday after school. Also, the next Thursday, we will have another Digital Parent University on securing the scholarship, and that's going to be in conjunction with Gear Up. So anyone needing information about how to search for scholarships, how to make yourself attractive for scholarships, and just where to get the information from, tune into that. On February 21st, we will have a Cedar Hill ISD board meeting. Our board trustees will meet. Actually, they also met this evening. And then on February 23rd, we will have another Digital Parent University on social media and cell phones. So that is tips for parents to keep your kids safe, which is going to be very, very awesome. And it's actually going to be presented by our very own staff. It's a surprise on who it's going to be. Now, all right, as you can see on the screen, we have two wonderful presenters and panelists this evening. We have Carla Fernandez Sanchez. She is the Bilingual Learning Experience Specialist for Paper. And we have Grace Molina. She is the Customer Onboarding Specialist for Paper. And you know they came prepared. Look at their backgrounds. Paper backgrounds. So I might need to step it up and, yes, do the Cedar Hill ISD background or something like that. All right, so without further ado, I will let Carla have it.
Thank you so much, Alicia, and thank you to all the parents and guardians that are joining us. We're so excited to be here to tell you all about this resource that your students have access to get academic support whenever they need it. I'm going to go ahead and go through quite a bit of information, so I hope that everyone can stick around and pay attention. We will be leaving some time after the session for any questions that you might have, so you can hang tight. So we'll go ahead and get started right away. Awesome. Alrighty, so we're going to delve right into what Paper is. And Paper, some of you might be familiar with it. If you're not, that is totally okay. We're here to explain it to you. What Paper is an educational support system that is being provided by your students' school district, Cedar Hill ISD. And what that means is that this resource is completely free and available to all students from 3rd to 12th grade. Now, there's going to be different resources that your students can access when they go into Paper, and I'm going to go ahead and cover those right now. The very first one is what we call Live Help. That is where your students can go ahead and connect with tutors 24/7 to receive whatever type of support they need on their homework assignments or also to prepare for exams. Now, when we say 24/7, we really mean 24/7. That means that if your student is maybe having questions about their assignments after school hours, maybe when it's a little bit more challenging to get a hold of teachers, maybe they're coming to you with a question that it's a little challenging to help them through, this is going to be a great resource for them. So at any time of the day, could be 10 a.m., it could be at 1 a.m. If that's the time that they're using to do their homework, support is going to be accessible. And we also have Review Center. That is where students can go ahead and submit writing assignments to get revisions from the tutors. Now, when it comes to writing assignments, it could be anything that is written. So it could be essays, it could be short stories. For students that are in higher grades, they can also go ahead and upload college personal statements and job and scholarship applications to get that extra set of hands and help them know what they can improve or what they're already doing well in their writing. That's going to be great to improve those writing skills that we know it's super important in a student's academic journey. Now, we also have Paper Live. That is where students can go ahead and access live shows that are educational and entertaining after school hours. So this can be almost like an extracurricular activity that your student can do. If they ever come to you saying, hey, I don't have any homework today, but you want them to continue expanding their knowledge after school hours, this is a great resource. We cover a lot of different topics during those shows. And we say live shows because there's someone live that is educating and providing that support to your student right there and then. We cover topics from Spanish to STEM, financial literacy, science experiments, and we'll get a chance to see how that all looks like in the platform. So that is Paper Live. And the very last one that I'll mention is Paper Missions. Now, we know that math is one of those super important subjects that for some students can be a little intimidating. So this is a chance for students to go ahead and practice their math skills by engaging in almost like a game. It's one of the features that we have in the platform, and that is where students can find different math problems that are in different topics for the subject, and they can just go ahead and answer questions, get guided through them so that they can sharpen those skills as well. Now, we're very excited to share that these resources that we offer are available not only 24/7, 365, but also available in different languages, which include English, Spanish, French, and Mandarin. So if your student needs it, if they need to contact a bilingual tutor, they can go ahead and do so and get support in the way that they feel most comfortable. Now we're going to go ahead and switch gears from talking about the features to also talking about how your students can access paper. Now we're going to go ahead and go through how your students can log in just a few moments, but I do want to mention that we have an app that is accessible for students to download if they're using mobile devices. So that could be their phone or also their tablets. Now you'll see here that the app that we have is called Paper Education, available on the App Store or Google Play. And that's just a great resource for students that are always on the go. If your students are involved in extracurricular activities, maybe they're involved in sport activities after school, and they're going to different games, they are spending a lot of time on the road, but they have to get to those homework assignments because they have to keep up those grades in order to play, then that's going to be a great resource where they can just go ahead and use their phone, get to work on their homework assignments and ask questions if they need it. But they'll always have access to a tutor, even if they are not sitting at home on their computer. So just wanted to mention that. That is another resource that your students can go ahead and access. Now, something that's super important for parents is making sure that the support that your students are receiving is of quality and that your students are always safe in whatever platform that they're using. And we understand that. So we do want to share a little bit about our paper tutors. Now, these are these are humans. So a lot of times students will come into the platform and ask, hey, am I speaking to a chat box? Is this the computer speaking to me? And the answer is no. These are real human tutors that are here to support your students. They're all subject matter experts and they all have very diverse backgrounds. We do have some tutors that are are in college that are completing their masters or PhDs. We have some former educators as well that continue to have that passion to support students. They all have clear background checks to ensure that your students are working securely in the platform. And very important to mention that they're all trained in a very specific way in order to help your students. Now, something that students can very easily do is whenever they have a question that they don't really know how to solve, is go on to Google, they'll type their question, sometimes they'll get the answer, but what happens a lot of the time is that they miss the whole learning of the concepts that they need to use or the steps they need to take in order to get to that answer. So when they encounter a similar problem in the future, whether it's in the homework assignments or on their test, they don't know how to work out the problem. So the whole goal of the paper tutors is to make sure that students do get that knowledge. So they'll go in there and they'll be guiding your students along the way. They'll be making them work a little bit in order to think critically and make sure that once they leave the session, they know how to get from point A to point B, boosting their confidence and knowing that they're able and capable to tackle that problem when they encounter in the future. So they're going to be here not just to give out answers, but instead to guide your students along the way and make sure that they can explain those concepts for your students. So just a little bit about how tutors will help support your students in the platform. Now, another super important aspect of working here in the platform is your student privacy and safety. Again, as parents, that's an aspect that we're always looking out for. So we want to let you know that that's also important for us as well. So for that reason, we do take different measures to ensure that your students are always having a positive and safe experience here at Paper. First things first, sessions only show your students' first name, last initial, and their grade level when they go into the platform. That's all the information that tutors can see when they're helping your students. Your students will also work with a different tutor every session. And the way that your students will go ahead and interact with them will be via chat-based conversations or audio notes. I will mention that as well. There's no access to video. So for elementary school students, they do have the ability to not only send text messages, but they can also send audio notes, which is where they can go ahead and record themselves asking a question, send it to the tutor, and the tutor can also communicate in that way. Now, we know for elementary school students that is key because some of them, let's say if we have any third graders that might still be feeling like they need a little bit more support with their reading and writing, and they prefer audio notes as opposed to text messages, that will definitely be an option for them. So again, interactions will be chat-based, audio notes-based, and there will be no video in the platform. Now, something else that we want to highlight is that we do have a student code of conduct here in the platform. Just like students act respectfully with their teachers at the school setting, we also expect students to be respectful of our tutors here and to always be kind and approach them in the best way. So we do have platform managers that are always checking sessions, making sure that students and tutors are having a positive experience. If there's any instances of inappropriate behavior or language, we do have a process set up so that we can go ahead and notify school administrators and also just find ways to remind students of the best ways to use the platform. So just a little bit about student privacy and safety that is considered when your students are working here with the tutors. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch gears. And again, if you have any questions, no worries. I know we're covering quite a bit of info, but we will get a chance to answer your questions at the end. So hold on to those. For now, I'm going to go ahead and go from introducing what Paper is to exploring the actual platform. I'm sure we all want to find out, hey, how does it work? How does it look like? So we'll get a chance to do that now. But the first thing that we need to know is how your students access Paper. Now, I did mention previously that your students can have access through the app, but this is how your students will go ahead and log in. So your students will go directly to ClassLink, which is the school portal that they normally use. I'm sure all of students that are in the audience and all of the parents that are in the audience are pretty familiar with this resource from the district. So they will go ahead and go to ClassLink. Like you can see here on the screen, Paper will be one of the resources that is offered on there. So you can see that icon, it's that letter P, blue and white, it says Paper right at the bottom. That is what you're going to be looking out for. in order to get to your student's paper account. A different way to go about it is go directly to our website. That is app.paper.co. And that is where your student can go ahead and type the name of their school. And then they'll be able to access through their ClassLink account, so their student credentials there. So those are different ways. As you can see, we have many different ways for your student to go ahead and access. So ClassLink, app.paper.co, and also the app if they're using their phones or tablets. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and switch gears here so that we can take a look and see how it all looks like. Now, once your student has completed those steps of going into ClassLink, looking out for paper, clicking on that, this is what they're going to see. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of all the different features that we just talked about during the intro so that you can get to see how it all looks like, where everything is, and how it works. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is that we do have this button here. I'll go ahead and click on it. That is where students can go ahead and select their language preference. I did mention before that the support that we provide is available in different languages. So this is where their students or your students make their selection. Here we can see support is offered in English, French, Spanish, and Mandarin. The moment that they click on that, they'll see that the platform will change to that language. And when they're ready to speak to a tutor, they'll be connected with someone that speaks the language they've selected, but that can support in any subject. So for example, if I chose Spanish, I would see the platform change. And if I want support in math, it will be a Spanish-speaking tutor that can support me with that subject. So great tool for students that need it there. Now, we're going to go ahead and go one by one. We're going to start with the live tutoring sessions. Again, those are 24/7, and I want to also mention that they are unlimited, which means that your students can come in here to paper and start tutoring sessions as many times as they need it throughout the day. And their sessions can also last for as long as they need it as well. So if your student just needs a quick 15 minutes to just clarify a concept, that is totally okay. If they need 2-3 hours to work through an entire problem set, if that's what they need, our tutors are here to support them along the way. So again, unlimited and 24/7. Now, in order to start tutoring sessions, your students can come to the left-hand menu. So we can see that here. It says chat with a tutor. Or a different option, because we are working directly with the district, your students will be able to see the classes that they are enrolled in this semester reflected here in the dashboard. So just as an example, if instead of Math 1, your student's taking geometry, algebra, calculus, anything of that sort, that's the name of the class that they'll see listed as long as their teacher's name. So there's going to be those two ways. Either click on chat with a tutor, or they can go to the subject tile that they have questions about. Now, math is actually the most popular subject here in the platform. We know that math can be pretty challenging, so we'll go ahead and start a math tutoring session. I'll go ahead and click on this. And again, for elementary school students, they'll have the chance to either start text-based conversations, or they can also have access to voice notes. Again, that's where they can record themselves asking the question and send it to the tutor. Now, in my case, I'll go ahead and start a text-based conversation. So I'll click on that. And that is going to take me directly onto a tutoring session for this subject. Now, as you can see here, it doesn't take very long to get connected to a tutor. They are here 24/7 and ready to provide support. And I can also see that my tutor is already typing. She's greeting me into the platform, asking how I'm doing. Now, in order to reply back, I can go ahead and just go to the message box and start typing. I'll just go ahead and type, "Hi, I'm doing okay. Need help with." There we go. Your students will be able to communicate that. Again, elementary school students will also have the option to send audio notes. Now, something that we added recently, because we know that sometimes students might be more of auditory learners, sometimes they may need that extra support in order to get their messages across to the tutors. I'm going to go ahead and show voice typing. So we can see this icon here. It's that sound wave icon. That is where your students can go ahead and click, and they'll see their words converted into text. So it's almost as if they're dictating their question. I'm going to go ahead and click on it so we can see what it looks like. So I'm speaking, and I can already see the text appear. It might be a little light, the text, but I can already see that appearing on the box. When students are ready, they can confirm. Now, I'm definitely not going to send this to the tutor, but this is just a quick visual, and it's a quick example of how students can utilize this. Now, this could be great for any elementary school students that, again, might need that extra support with reading or typing. Or also for any English language learner students, this could be also a great support in order to start seeing grammar, how everything is spelled. That could be another extra layer of support for them as well. Again, I'm not going to send this. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Now, if students are having these text-based conversations, but they actually want to listen to what the tutor has sent, they can also go ahead and do that. So what they're going to do is hover over whatever message they want to hear read out loud, and they'll click on this play button.
AHH, got it. I can help with math.
Perfect. So we can go ahead and allow students to listen to that if they need it. Again, for any auditory learners that feel more comfortable with that, they can go ahead and do so. Now, other tools here in the platform. And again, any questions, please feel free to hold on to them. We'll be sure to answer them. When it comes to math or science, we know that there's quite a bit of different symbols or different problems that they might be solving, where they might be needing an additional math keyboard. And that is where students can find it. We have it right here. And that is where students, again, sometimes it might be a little challenging to find whatever symbols they're working on a regular keyboard. So this will definitely be an extra layer of support for them to get their questions across. They can just go ahead and select what they need to use for their problem and send it to the tutor. Now, something else that students can do, sometimes they might be working on very long math or word problems, maybe a long paragraph, and we don't want to text or type all of it or record ourselves reading all of it. So what students can also do is send files. So they can go ahead and click on this button, and that will allow them to basically select any files, screenshots, or pictures of their assignments and share them with the tutor here. Now, if your student has any virtual worksheets that the teachers are providing, they can go ahead and send that file. Or again, if they are working with a physical textbook or a piece of paper that they are working on, the app could be great to snap a picture and send it. Or they can also utilize this camera feature where they can just open up their camera, their front camera, and they can just go ahead and snap a picture of the problem that they're working on. So many different ways to share with the tutors. Now, for those visual learners that need to basically see every step, we also have this whiteboard. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and that is where students can draw any problems, diagrams, graphics. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly draw a problem here. It's not going to be too bad. And here, what a lot of students do, they utilize this a lot for math, science, where they have to work step by step, or students that are working also on any reading comprehension assignments. They are able to also upload pictures through here. So they go ahead and upload a picture of the paragraph that they're working on, and using these different tools, they highlight or they outline what it is that they need help with or what they're confused about. So that could be a great way to use this. Here, for example, I can just go ahead and let my tutor know this variable, no clue what to do with it. So sending that her way. And there we go. It's the tutor will be able to see it. And when I'm ready to take the next step, I can just go ahead and click on that, click on draw, and I can continue on without having to restart drawing everything. I can just work collaboratively. The tutor can also do the same on her end. So we will be working together to get to the bottom of the question. Now, Something else that I'm going to highlight here, we do have different resources so that students have an easy experience to connect with the tutors. Let's say your student forgot an explanation that they received during a session. They forgot how they solved a problem, and they have a quiz coming up, they have a midterm, and they are trying to remember. We do have this history tab on the left-hand side where they can basically just take a look at every single previous session that they've had. So I can see that I can not only see the messages, but also everything that I've shared, like pictures and drawings. Now, as a parent, if you're ever curious, hey, what kind of questions are you asking? What kind of support are you receiving from the tutors? You're more than welcome to come in here. If you need to do a little bit of spying, we understand. You can go ahead and come to the history tab as well, and you'll be able to see everything that your student has asked before and the support, again, that they've received from the tutors. Now, the only thing that I'll remind everyone here, the last thing that I'll remind everyone here while we're in the chat, is that our tutors are trained in a very specific way, just like we mentioned before. Here, she's not just telling me the answer. She's not just saying like X equals whatever number. She's asking guiding questions to make sure that, for one, she understands what I'm confused about, but so that I can also start thinking about the steps that I'm going to take to get to the answer. So I'm going to work together with her. I'm not going to just expect the answer. I'm going to go ahead and spend some time so that I can really understand every concept and every step that I need to take. Now, because we do have other features to go through here in the platform, I'm going to go ahead and end the session just so that we have enough time. Just going to let our tutor know that we have to go so that she can go and support other students.
I'm just going to say that this is truly awesome. Like me, for the first time looking at this and how robust it is, this is really, really, really awesome. Wow. Wow, Paper.
We're so excited that you all are excited. And we definitely want to make sure that whenever students have those questions that they feel that they have someone that they can go to. I know that sometimes, again, it could be a little challenging to find the person to ask, whether teacher's not available, whether, parent is a little bit stumped to answer the question. And sometimes they're working on those assignments that they might have left last minute, and they're just like, I need to get this down. But, we're so excited to be providing this so that they can utilize it whenever they need it. Alrighty, so I let my tutor know that I do have to go, but I do want to show you all before I exit out of here that students can go ahead and end their session. You'll see this button here. They'll confirm. And very key, students will always have the opportunity to let us know how their session went. So this is very important. We want to hear student feedback. They'll always have the opportunity to provide it. And again, our platform managers are always checking this out, making sure that not only are students having a positive experience, but that they're getting the support that they needed to get during these sessions. So here, students can go ahead and just clarify why they ended the chat. And they can let us know, was the session helpful? And they can go ahead and submit any sort of comments if they want to let us know what worked, if anything could have gone better. If they want to send any shout outs to the tutors, they can go ahead and do that here too. Alrighty, so that was live help, those tutoring sessions. I'm going to go ahead and move to Review Center, which is where students can go ahead and upload any writing assignments where they might need revisions. So students will always, again, be able to go to the left-hand side, pick Get Work Reviewed, or they can click on the icon. I'll go ahead and click on this. And here, I've already submitted a piece of writing that I wanted reviewed. I can already see that I got that feedback back. Here I'll be able to see just kind of like a summary that the tutor has provided me. Those are not the entire comments. In order to see the comments, students can go ahead and download the file. The tutor will make sure to include that. And that is where they'll be able to provide comments specifically about certain portions of their work, but this will just be the summary. And we'll also, I want to let you all know that we also check for plagiarism. So we want to make sure that students are always doing their work, that they are utilizing resources or sources the proper way. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Now, let's say your student has a new piece of writing that they need to submit. They'll go ahead and go to Upload Work. And they'll always have the option to send in 2 different ways. So they can either select their file from their device and just select what they've saved. Or we know a lot of students sometimes use Google Drive. So that's going to be an option for them as well if they use, let's say, a Google Doc, for example. Now, students will also be asked to provide additional details about the work that they've done. So title of their work, submission type. We did mention that we support all types of writing, including college personal statements and job and scholarship applications. So that they can go ahead and specify that. Super important. We always highly encourage students to provide teacher instructions or application instructions. The tutors will be reading through those to make sure that they've included and they've done the work the way that they needed to in order to, get that good grade or perfect that application. So they can also give us additional comments, and they'll always be able to see an ETA, so how long it's going to take to get revisions back. Now, as you can see, Review Center is not as instantaneous as the live help sessions. We do need some time to kind of read through what the student has sent, make sure that we're providing those personalized comments so that they can improve their writing. Now, when students have received their work, work has been reviewed, they'll receive a notification here in their dashboard. And just like I showed before, they'll be able to see the summary. They'll be able to download their work to see all the comments that are specific to each portion of their assignment, and also verification for plagiarism. Alrighty, so that was pretty quick. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to Paper Live. And again, that's where students can go ahead and access live shows. They can go ahead and attend and participate in live shows that cover many different subjects after school hours. Students will be able to click on watch streaming shows or go to the icon. There's always going to be 2 different ways to go about it. I'll click on this. And again, these are also free for paper families. This is already included in the platform, and it's available again for students from K. We'll have shows that are specific to students from K through 4th, and then for students in 5th through 9th grade. Now, again, we cover many different topics. So this is great for, again, any instances where your student comes home and they say, I don't have any homework. I'm going to go ahead and watch TV or play video games all afternoon. You know that there's a resource there so they can continue learning in a fun way. And if there's ever any students that are very curious about a particular subject, but let's say maybe they're not covering that in depth in their classwork, this can also be a great resource for them. So you will see, again, there's topics like science lab experiments, STEM courses, astronomy, financial literacy, physical education. So definitely a lot for them to explore. Now, what you'll see here, and this is, sometimes there's a little bit of confusion between paper or live help, which are the tutoring sessions, and Paper Live, which are these shows. Now, for tutoring sessions, your student never has to make any appointments. They don't have to make any reservations or save slots in order to work with the tutors. They're here 24/7. So whatever time they have their question, they can just go ahead and start a tutoring session to get support. Now, for Paper Live, for these shows, they do need to register for these classes or these shows because they happen at specific dates and times. So you'll see here, this one, for example, is being offered today, or here, this one for Monday. So I'll go ahead and click on it. Once you come in here, and as a parent, we absolutely encourage you to come with your student, check out what's being offered. Once your student finds the show that they're interested in, they can go ahead and click on it. And you can go ahead and book the episode, which basically means you're registering your student to come and participate. Now, there will be a host, a live host. Though for this in particular is our host, Stephanie, who will be there guiding students, asking them questions. So it won't be a video. It will actually be a live show for them to participate in. Alrighty, so that is Paper Live. Definitely take advantage of it. It's already included in the platform and free for you all to use as well. The very last thing that I'll cover here in the platform is Paper Missions. Now, again, that is where students can go ahead and play math games in order to improve those skills. They can go ahead and click on Play Math Games or go to the tile. And here you will see that students can go ahead and select from different topics. So everything from elementary level concepts like counting all the way up to high school level like trigonometry. Now your students will be able to be guided throughout each of the problems. So I can go ahead and click on this one as an example. There's further topics there. I'll go ahead and click on this one. And I can go ahead and start those missions. Here they'll be able to see everything that they've completed, and if they've completed everything from, let's say, this one, they can go ahead and jump onto another one. So there's no limit to how much they can participate in this. And I know there's going to be information going out to you all very soon, but we do have a contest about that involves this resource where students can go ahead and get prizes when they're participating in completing these paper mission problems. I believe Alicia is going to give us more information, and you'll also be receiving more information on that very, very soon, so that your students can not only learn, but also get fun prizes for using paper missions. Perfect. That is the walkthrough. I know we've gone through so much information, so I hope everyone's sticking around, hoping that everyone's noting down their questions if there's any. I'm going to go ahead and come back here to the presentation and finish off. We do want to make sure that as a parent, you're provided with resources. I know that when it comes to using different tools, it takes a little bit of time. We have to get used to it. We have to learn it with our students. So you're not alone here. We are thinking of you as well, and we are aiming to also provide you support. So a lot of times parents ask us, how can I help my student? How can I support them when they're using paper? Now, our recommendations are, first, go ahead and log into sessions with your student. If they have not used paper before and you think that they might need that extra support to navigate, definitely join them. Now that you've taken a look at how it all works, you're a little bit more familiar, so you can go ahead and help them lead conversations with the tutors, guide them to have those interactions. If they have any pictures or screenshots that they want to share with the tutors, you can help them with that as well. And definitely building paper into your students' study and test prep routine. I know that we made a lot of emphasis on homework assignments, but test prep is also huge for students. So whenever there's a quiz, whenever there's a midterm, if they're getting a chance to redo work or to retake a test, and they have a study guide or anything of that sort, they can also utilize the paper tutors for those instances as well. So again, we want to make sure that students feel confident all the way in every aspect that they are working on at school. So definitely test prep, it's a big one. With review center, sometimes they're writing 4-page essays, and it takes a while to review them and give those revisions to them. So again, you can always count on Review Center so that they can get revisions from our tutors. And always remember, if you are, well, right now we've finished a semester, we're a month or so into the new one. We want to make sure that we're always paying attention to your students' progress report cards. We want to make sure that we're always catching the assignments or the subjects that they might be struggling with. And that is where you can be strategic and also incorporate paper. So if science or history, they're not doing so well, maybe those are the classes that they can focus on and make a plan and say, you know what, 2 times a week, I'll be going into paper so that they can help me with these assignments or to get prepared for tests. So definitely utilizing this as a support for you, for your student, will be a great resource for them to advance academically. Now, we do have resources for parents and guardians. We have this QR code, so you can go ahead and scan it. We do have this available in English and in Spanish. And this is basically a site that is full of resources specifically for you all. There you'll be able to find videos, you will be able to find overviews. Again, that's going to be great in case you need a refresher after this session, or if you just want to take a look and learn on your own time, that's going to be great. You'll be able to also find different activities to help you get started with utilizing paper at home with your student. So definitely take advantage of this. Again, it's accessible in English and Spanish. You can go ahead and scan the QR code. If you're using your phone to access this presentation, you might not be able to scan. So perhaps after, when we're ready for Q&A, we can go ahead and share the link in the chat so that you all have access. Oh, perfect. Alicia's on it. She's got you all. We definitely want to make sure that you have access. So there you go. You can go ahead and access it right there if you are not able to scan it. And again, those are all made for you. So we definitely hope that you take advantage and that you continue to learn through that site for parents. And with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude our presentation. I keep saying it, but I know that it's true. We've thrown a lot of information your way, so we want to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you are super clear in everything that your student can access when it comes to the platform. So feel free to ask questions. We're here, Grace and myself are here to answer any questions, any doubts that you might have.
I will say, number one, like I said, it is a lot of information, but it's really, really great. This platform is really great. And I mean, you've already stated that our scholars are signing up for it and utilizing it. So I'm very happy to hear that. We did have a question earlier. Is this option available for elementary, especially Lake Ridge Elementary? But they came back and said, look at this. Thank you so much. They are set up. So apparently they got their answer. So of course, I'm sure it is available for all scholars. You said 3rd through 12th grade, right?
Correct. Yes.
That is right.
I saw another question here. Is this available for plumber as well? And that answer is yes, 3rd through 12th grade. So as long as your scholar is in at least 3rd grade, then yes, it is definitely available. Let's see. I don't actually see any questions. So this is the time. Oh, here we go. So this is the time to definitely submit your questions. All right, here we go. It says, where can parents find the link to monitor the scholars? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a great question. And we do want to make sure that we clarify it. So thank you for asking. Now, when it comes to accessing the platform, we don't currently have a dashboard or a portal that's specific for parents. So we do recommend you all to go into your student's account. So basically take the steps that your student takes to get to their account. So going through ClassLink, make sure that ClassLink is the student's ClassLink account. I know that sometimes parents have one of their own, but this will be your student's ClassLink account. You can go ahead and find paper, and then you'll be able to go to that history tab that I shared, and I can go ahead and share it again here. So if I go with chat with a tutor, I forgot.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I always forget, so apologies, but here we are. So again, the left-hand side is where your students will be able to access the history chat or the history of all their sessions. And as parents, those are the steps that you can take. So I do want to mention that these never go away. So if your student asks a question, comes into a tutoring session at the very beginning of the semester, maybe they do it tonight to give it a try. And later down the road, they're getting ready for their final at the end of the school year. They'll be able to find that session here and get that, be able to review that information.
Okay. I actually had a question. You probably already said this, but are the sessions, like the live chat sessions, they're unlimited?
They are unlimited. So they can last for as long as we need it. I like this example because it's an outlier. It doesn't happen very often, but it just shows the accessibility that students have to this resource. We've had students that spend 5 hours to up to 15 hours. Now, this is an outlier, so hopefully your student is getting some rest and not spending 15 hours in the platform. But, sometimes there are students that are, whether they leave it to the last minute or maybe they're working on a very hard project, they can go ahead and utilize the tutors for as long as they need to. So again, hopefully it's not for 15 hours so they can rest, but again, if that's what they need, it'll be here for them for as long as they need it.
Awesome. I mean, it's just people saying this is an awesome resource. I agree. So you did, Carla, bring up the paper missions. Yes. Okay. So that was about the math exercises that you can do. But yes, she mentioned that there will be a competition coming up when it comes to the paper mission. So it hasn't started yet, and you will receive information, but we're giving you the exclusive. So from February 27th to March the 13th, which is the first day of spring break, So it's great that it's ending that day. But from those dates, this district will be in a competition and it's compared to all other school districts that utilize paper. But what we want you to do is get on there and do as many paper missions that you possibly can. And we want you to work through them, like she said when she showed on the screen. It's unlimited. You can just, once you complete this mission, you go on to the next mission, you go on to the next mission, and you just keep going and keep going. And if this district has the most missions completed, it said the top 10 scholars who have the most paper missions completed are going to win something from paper. And it's going to be very, very nice. And I'm super excited to start advertising that and sending the information out to parents and scholars. So that's going to be fun. Yes, I agree. This will help parents understand what students are learning. Absolutely. I know who that is. That is Miss Henderson. Shout out to the staff who are watching tonight. So that's going to be super fun. So be on the lookout for the information that's going to come out regarding the paper missions competition. Again, that's February 27th through March the 13th. Are there any other questions? Because I don't see any at this time. And do you all have anything else you want to share?
I think I do want to share, and this is an often frequently asked question from parents, and it's a very good one too. Sometimes they ask if my student's taking any AP courses, and this might be a little bit more geared towards high school parents. So if my student's taking advanced courses, or what's the level or the range of subjects that we provide support with? I don't think I mentioned this, but we do provide support in over 200 subjects from elementary to even college level. So if your students are taking those electives, if they're taking foreign language courses, if they're taking those advanced AP, IB, or anything of that sort, there are tutors that are knowledgeable and that have the capacity to support them as well.
That's great.
Yes, I will also like to add that in Paper Live, where students I call it our own personal YouTube channel. And now students have the ability to watch past shows. So this is a brand new feature that actually went live 2 weeks ago. Obviously, everybody's in different time zones. I'm all the way in Florida. You're all the way in Texas. Carla's all the way in California. So we all have different time zones. So students could definitely watch those episodes whenever it's convenient to them. So just wanted to point that out there.
That's good. Also, when it comes to are you referring to the videos that she was, the ones that you can register for?
Correct.
Is that what you're referring to? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying that they would be on demand?
Yes. So they could either be live with the person that is actually hosting the video, but if they don't get the chance to join, which life happens, right? Maybe they have to do something and they can't join at that moment, they could always rewatch it at a later date or a later time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, because that was one of the questions I was going to have, because I noticed on the screen, because of course, I'm assuming that Carla is on Pacific time, right? It said PT time. So those times might be early for us, or I don't know, it might be early for you. So I didn't know like the variation of different times that the sessions would be. So, but that's
right.
Good to know.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And yeah, we know that there's students that are going to be, in different time zones. So that's a great point to add. We do have that, we call it Paper Live Archive, which is basically you go in there and you're basically able to watch the show, like you said, on demand. Now that's going to be great for any students that maybe aren't able to make a specific time. It might be too late or too early. Or also if they are curious, maybe if they want to try it out and see what it's like to be on a show, or the type of information or how they go about doing these sessions, and they just want to get a feel for it, they can watch the show first, get comfortable, and then register to participate in a live show. So different ways to go about it. But yeah, if they're attending live, they will be able to register. Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, again, I just keep seeing compliments. They're excited to have this opportunity to utilize this service in our district, and I'm equally excited. So thank you so much for your time. I don't see any other questions. I just don't see them. So I I'm going to give maybe one more minute. Anyone's there, because there are people watching. I don't know. These could be scholars. These could be parents. We don't know. It could be staff personnel. So if you do have any more questions, I'm going to give it about one more minute. And again, be on the lookout for information coming up about the paper missions competition. It'll be going on from February 27th to March the 13th. So get on to your paper account and make sure that you are completing those paper missions. Do you want to speak to, if either of you know, the success that you've had with our district participating in paper?
Yes. So I am the onboarding specialist, which that means that I have been helping everything with the launch. And I have to say that Cedar Hill has one of the top usage out of all of our districts, top 5 of the entire company.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know that.
The feedback is just amazing. The students are loving it, and we love to see it. Every time Cedar Hill is mentioned, it's just like, it's a great thing. So you guys are doing awesome.
Oh, that's great. That is great. Oh, wow. I did not know it was top 5. That is something that's really great to celebrate. And again, if you have not, so we had some parents on here who didn't know, they didn't know about the resource. So the fact that they are using this Digital Parent University to find out about it and register their kids, I think that's awesome. So yes, this is available to 3rd through 12th grade scholars. They can sign up for this free tutoring from experts, experts in these fields. So oh, someone said they just logged in. Oh no, I'm going to tell you something. This is on demand. So if you missed it, especially it looks like you're on YouTube, there will be a replay. So you'll be able to watch this whenever you want to. Trust and believe. And if you received an email about it, it'll still be attached to the email. All right, go Longhorns. That's right. Well, I really appreciate you for taking the time to give this information out to our families. And I know you've offered some informational sessions to parents, and those who have registered for, or scholars and parents who have registered for them, maybe they still didn't have an opportunity to participate in those informational sessions. So this is their version of it. So we certainly appreciate it. I love to put this little banner up. When I put the banner up, it means it's time to go. Any last things you'd like to say? Because this is the time. I see nothing.
Well, hopefully that means we did a good job with explaining it. But if there's any questions, I'm sure, Alicia, they can go ahead and reach out to you, and Grace and myself are happy to provide support.
Yes.
Definitely the email address you received this link from, face@chisd.net. I will get it, and I will get your questions answered if you do have any. All right. Well, thank you again so much for joining us this evening. Thank you, Paper. And we will see you. Hold on. I see something. Let me see what it is. Oh. Where do we go to register our children? So it's available on ClassLink. You can also, you can go straight to the website. Yes. And it's available on ClassLink. So on your Scholars dashboard, that's where it is. And I didn't know if you were going to bring that.
I can go ahead and pull up that slide real quick. That's a good question. So yes, we do want to make sure that you know that you don't need to register your student per se. They already have access to this resource. And just like Alicia mentioned, it is already accessible in their ClassLink portal. Just like you can see in this image, that is what you're going to be looking out for. It's going to be that letter P, blue and white. Or you can go to the website. It's app.paper.co. And their students can go ahead and type the name of their school and utilize their student credentials, which is technically ClassLink as well. So that's going to be the way that students can access, and it's already there. So when they can access it now, today, if they need to, and where? ClassLink or app.paper.co.
And I just also put that in the link. So in the chat. So I did put the links to the parent resources the guides for parent resources, as well as this website in the event that you might not have your scholar's Chromebook right in front of you. Okay, well, once again, we appreciate you for joining us this evening, and we'll see you next week. I think there's another one next week. Yes, next Thursday. That's Securing the Scholarship. We will see you then. Have a great evening.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.